Hi everyone. It's Naomi Wolf, CEO of Daily Clout, and as I promised, I'm here to talk about the vaccine passports. I appeared on Fox yesterday to share my warning about the vaccine passports, and I got hundreds and hundreds of emails from across the political spectrum saying, I'm scared too, what can I do to help? So I just wanted to take more time to explain what exactly the vaccine passports are, because there's a lot of, I wouldn't say misinformation, I would say lack of appropriate warning about what this platform really represents. So this is probably the most serious warning I've ever given. As I said earlier, I've been warning everyone since 2008 that we could slip into a fascist reality, and the vaccine passports really are the last step. And, you know, as someone said today, the hill worth dying on, or the last fight that we have to fight. Because once the passport vaccines are accepted, there is no more resistance. There is no more choice. So let me explain, as CEO of a tech company, Daily Clout, exactly why this, not even proposal, it's being rolled out in Israel. It was rolled out in Israel. It's being promoted in Britain that you have to scan your vaccine passport in order to go to a pub and have a pint. You know, President Biden in America said this is going to be mandated. My tyrannical Governor Andrew Cuomo, said that it's got to be, you know, rolled out. The Excelsior Pass that IBM is creating, it's happening at warp speed. So please don't be fooled. This is the most dangerous tool that humanity has faced in my lifetime, if not ever, in terms of human liberty. Basically, let me explain a little nerdy tech detail. When you sign up on a website, or on an app, there's a place where you sign your name and you choose a password, and then there's a list of terms and conditions, and you agree to them. Well, that's really important. It seems insignificant, but it's really important, because what it means is you have choice. You can read the terms and conditions and you can think, this is too, tyrannical. They're going to sell my private details. I'm not willing to agree to these terms and conditions. They're not in my favor. And the password and username means that you get to decide when you log on to TD Bank or when you log on to PayPal. You're not walking around your daily life logged into PayPal. You're not walking around your daily life logged into, a credit score. So that's really, really important. You're in control. So with the vaccine passports, none of that will be the case. Everyone has to be participating all the time. And what I mean by that is, if you don't participate, you don't get let into the supermarket to buy food. You don't get let into the pub to meet your friends. You can't get into the restaurant. You can't travel on an airplane. You can't travel on a bus. You can't travel on a train. And it's not just that you're forced to participate. I can't say this any more clearly. The vaccine passport platform is the same platform as a social credit system. I'm going to say that again because it's so important. The vaccine passport platform is the same platform as a social credit system, like in China, that enslaves 8 billion people. In China, the CCP can find any dissident in 5 minutes because of the 360-degree surveillance of the social credit system. And it means that when you act like a good citizen, you get a boost, and when you act like a bad citizen, opportunities get closed to you. Maybe your child doesn't get into college or get into prep school. Maybe, you don't get that job, you don't get that promotion. The vaccine passport that is being proposed in the rest of the West is the same platform. I can't say that enough. Speaking as a tech CEO, what I mean is once this platform rolls out, any other functionality can be linked to it with no problem, right? Any other functionality can be linked to it. What does that mean? It means that with a tweak of the back end, like virtually no extra development, PayPal can be switched off and on depending on how machine reading assesses what you've been saying on social media. So if you've been too conservative or too liberal, or you've used the word Trump too often, or the words pro-choice too often, or Sierra Club, machine reading will let PayPal know. PayPal will switch off or dial up your interest on a credit card, and that's the world you're living in. Microsoft and Salesforce have already been proposing versions of the vaccine passport because many tech companies are vying for this incredibly lucrative and immensely powerful contract, right? The people who have this data are going to run the world, basically, and they're going to be sort of the gods of the world. And everything will go through them. They'll be more powerful than nations. They'll be more powerful than the UN. But with a tweak of the back end, you can never be positive, or never have a green check, never have a I don't have COVID check. And there's no way to verify the COVID PCR tests. And studies and whistleblowers have shown that they can create false positives by just running them at above 25 cycle thresholds, right? So if you're a dissident, you can always be positive for COVID. And there is no way to challenge it, no way to verify it, and you'll be in a second-class category in society for the rest of your life, and your family will too. When you agree to the vaccine passports, when you go to a pub or a play or a restaurant, and you swipe that code, right, which you're getting used to because since COVID, when you go to a restaurant, you're asked to swipe that QR code. That doesn't just, where does that go? I will tell you where it goes. It goes to a central database, and all the people who are with you, who are also swiping the code, their information is also going to a central database, which means that the vaccine passport, quote unquote, which is really a social credit system, knows everyone who's at that table. And if you're talking about, resistance to the system, if you're talking about staging a protest or writing an op-ed or mobilizing support for a representative to pass a bill to roll back this system, the platform will know. And there's a functionality that creates maps of networks of people. And as you all swipe in your vaccine passport to that cafe or to that restaurant or even to that living room, right? It is geolocating you, and it can tabulate the searches you all have done historically, and it can read what happened on your social media as a group, and you as a group can be blackballed. Your social credit score can dial down, or you're all positive, right? None of you ever gets to shop for food. None of you ever gets your children into school. People who have been drafting proposals for contracts for the vaccine passport system, like Microsoft, they've said explicitly that the system can keep people who are positive from leaving the house, okay? And it can do that. It can make it impossible for you to get on a subway or metro or the tube in London. It can make it impossible for you to get on a bus. It can make it impossible for you to book an Uber or book a Lyft, right? And this is not like maybe 10 years down the line, maybe, in a more dystopian society. I'm telling you, as CEO of a tech company, right now, with a literally half-hour development on the back end, these functionalities can be integrated. And the last thing I really want to talk about is money. The US is starting to propose a digital currency. There's